Alright, before we begin, File, Save, just to make sure that we're saving that project. And we're going to go up here and where our arm is, from the shoulder hinge all the way down to the lower arm, we're going to go ahead and group these. So we're going to click on our keyboard, Alt-G, and what that does is it creates a null object, a no object, just kind of a pointer object, that's going to hold our arm. I'm going to go ahead and label this arm. And that way it kind of keeps it out of the way and keeps it nice and tidy for us. Alright, so what we're going to do now is we're going to create a few different things using some of the same processes and then one other process that'll be a little bit more involved using a spline. But we're going to need to first create this part of the leg, and as you can see it's just a large rectangle with an extruded area that comes out a little bit further. So we're going to kind of focus on this skinny area of the upper leg first. So to do that, create a cube, geometric primitive. In my front menu, I'm going to drag that down so it's approximately there in the center of that area, and then again scale it in the Attributes Manager up. That looks pretty good. Bring it in. That looks pretty good there. And the width of it, looking here at the side, which I may have to move over just a bit there. There we go. I'm going to bring it in a bit. We're going to label this upper leg. And before I go too much further here, I'm going to make this one editable right now. And I'm going to go ahead and draw these two sides here in after I make a knife across it. So we're going to make that editable. Over here, hit C on your keyboard or click over on the left side. Make sure again the upper leg is selected. Hit the K tool. Loop is already selected since we used that before. And we're going to loop it about right here where it's going to come out. And we're going to use that to make that adjustment out. So what we're going to do now is using our live selection tool and use point tool. Make sure only select visible elements is turned off. Click outside and hold of your points, and I'm going to paint this first point. I'm going to drag it in. I'm going to do the same thing here on the left side. Click and drag it in. Excellent. And now we have something that has a little bit more form on it. Last thing that we're going to do is we are going to extrude this out just a little bit. So what we're going to do is we're going to get our use polygon tool. Make sure that we turn back on, only select visible elements, and select that outside polygon. Make sure you haven't selected anything else within that. And what we're going to do is we're going to do an inner extrude, M-W, on your keyboard. Bring it in just a bit. And instead of extruding that out, we're just going to pull it out. There we go. So if you look at that front menu, then all we need to do here is bring this point area back in. So hit your space bar, use point tool on the left. Make sure you uncheck only select visible elements. Click outside and paint. And then drag that point down. Now where this juncture here is, we'll come back and make that adjustment as needed later when we start doing more detail and beveling. But for right now, that pretty much takes care of what we need. There we go. So now we have a hip and we have our leg. Now, from that leg is going to be a small joint that is actually going to be where the knee rotates forward and back. So it allows us to actually walk with this. We will create this hinge joint in the next clip.